Hey y'all, you want to know what's awesome? It's nice enough out today that I can wear a tank top. So happy about that. Spring is coming, super excited. Know what else is awesome? This flute is awesome. This here is a figured walnut, low D drone flute. It's a special piece. It's a very artistic piece. I went a little bit crazy with it. I've had this flute bank sitting in my workshop for quite some time, just trying to figure out what I was going to do with it here. And so it's a really special piece. It's two-tone in color. You see that? That little line going up here. It's got the heartwood, the dark walnut, and then this is where the sapwood starts coming in, and it's kind of like a grayish cream color. It's also curly walnut. You can see that shimmer, the different ways I move it. You can see this curl going through the grain. It's a really, really gorgeous piece. And I decided to do a whale theme on this flute. So we have ebony end caps on this. And this, like I said, this flute's been sitting for a while. So these caps have been on here for a shoot over 10 months, I think. Ebony end caps. And then I put the whale tail sound blocks on it. That is all abalone inlay. I can't even tell you how long it takes to inset. I'll take this off. To inset all of that. It's kind of like a puzzle, you know, strategically placing each piece. There's multiple pieces in that tail, and they all have to be strategically placed and then filled in, you know, around the edges, but to try to make it look like a solid piece. And abalone is especially difficult because unlike turquoise, when you crush turquoise, you can crush it into a powder and it'll still look beautiful and blue. If you crush abalone, you lose all of that mirror-like shine that it has, you know? It'll just look like sand, essentially. Crushed shell just looks like gray sand. And so you have to be real careful on how you inlay it and what pieces that you place and how much sort of powder you use to fill in, you know, the basically all the little pock holes or whatever is left around when you're doing your inlay. It takes a long time. And on drone flutes, I do not like to do banding, but on occasion I'll do that on a few really high-end pieces. I'll do the abalone banding. And so this on the top and the bottom has the banding. Really cool. So the whale theme, and I actually thought that, you know, after the flute was created and I was looking at it, the colors remind me sort of an orca whale, as if like this would be the belly of the whale and then this is the darker top part of the whale. So I thought that was kind of unique. The colors also remind me of balance, of duality, of yin and yang. You know, we got the dark and the light together. We got feminine and masculine, what creates balance. So this, you know, you can think of that as sort of the attribute of what this flute represents. Maybe people will be thinking that when they're playing this flute, creating balance for people or for themselves when they're playing. And so a total of 10 playing holes that can be uncorked for different configurations, right? I even made this little medicine pouch, and we will have a flute bag that comes with this piece. And this little medicine pouch to where all of your corks can fit in there, you know, when you're playing different configurations. My favorite way to play this is just the harmony drone style, which I'll demonstrate. These will go into this little pouch so I don't lose them. As you can see, when I started this video, I just had it resting up here. You could potentially tie it to one of the leather straps here, leave it in the flute bag that this flute will come with, and stow your little corks. And each one of these corks, I also took the time to make these little ebony caps for the top of the cork. Pretty sweet, huh? These are all ebony caps on there. Really beautiful. And so we'll go through the different ways that this flute can be played. I also want to show you, it's going to come with a flute stand. And this is a one and done flute. This is only one is going to be made. I'm not going to say, oh, well, if you want to order one, this and that. I can't even, find that type of wood to do that. And we're trying to, change gears. And I'm not trying to push orders. We get enough orders to try to keep up without me pushing it. So this is first come, first serve, one and done. Contact me if you're interested. It's going to be a high-end piece. I'm warning you now. This is a gorgeous maple burl stand, right? And so this too, I don't know if I can get the right angle, but lots of figure in here. A really, really pretty piece. Lots of burl. You see that burl sticking off the end. Super, super cool. I wanted it to be real stable on the stand, so I put 2 pegs for the drone to slide in. And I even put this leather it's removable. It's just slid over the dowels here. And when shipping, this will probably all come in pieces, but you just put the 2 dowels in and you just slide this piece of leather over the top of it. That way you're not scuffing up wood against wood, the bottom of your flute against this flute stand, and it'll just sit nicely on there. And it sits beautifully on there, super stable, super balanced. It's not gonna, sometimes drone flutes, especially tall bass flutes, they tend to lean to one side. If you put it on one peg, it looks a little crooked, it might spin. So that's why I wanted to do the double flute stand, so it sat nice and beautiful and could be a gorgeous showpiece somewhere in your home. So that's all of it. Now let's get to the sound. Like I said, it's in a D minor, and put this little medicine bag down. I'll probably put my corks in a second. When it's corked, it's essentially your standard Native American style drone flute, right? It's in a pentatonic minor. There's one difference. The cross finger note, and you'll see in a little while why I made this different. The cross finger note here, see how it sounded like the same note? You do not put this finger down to play this note. There's a reason for that. We'll get to that. So as you play, everything is the same. You leave this finger down and you don't have to play it. So it doesn't create too much confusion. If you like to play as a 5-hole, you just play it as a 5-hole. But if you want to play that, instead of cross fingering by putting this finger down, you just play it like that. And again, we'll show you the reason why I did that in a little bit here. I'll play it as a regular drone flute real quick with effects over here. Pretty sweet, just a basic drone flute. This one does, for whatever reason, maybe it's because it's getting near the sapwood, it has a little bit quieter of a voice than some of my flutes, but it's still got a sweet, soulful, tone to it. And I haven't got to the best part yet. We'll save that for last. My favorite configuration of how to play this flute. Just now, I just removed the back cork. And I will tell y'all, if you're interested in this flute, and you just don't think you're a fan of the corks, well, that's what this piece of leather's for. It's not just decoration. This cork, this piece of leather here, can slide to cover this thumb hole, right? And once it covers that thumb hole, then basically now you can play it the same exact way. But the leather now is what's covering the hole rather than the cork. So that's a nice option. Some people don't like to feel the corks, you know, bumping into their hand or whatever. So that's an option. But for now, I want to show you what we do when that cork is removed. And so as you can see, because I wanted to add this split drone configuration on this, which is my favorite way to play. Like I said, we'll get to that. My favorite way to play this flute is like this, you know. But in order to play it as a regular 6-hole flute and or 6-hole drone flute, we go this way. If you know my flutes, you know that I also make alternating drone flutes. Normally, for a right-handed player, the holes would all be on this side, right? 3 here, 3 here, and then a pinky right here. And that gives you the ability to change the drone note to the 5th of the scale. Well, after making it a split drone and then adding these holes and saying, you know, I think I could make a few different things go on here. Then I reached over and I looked at where my placement would be normally for the pinky hole, and I made it a thumb hole on this side. So this is an alternating drone, and I will say it's not, for me, it's not quite as comfortable as being able to just lift the pinky off when I'm playing in my normal alternating drone. But it does give you the option to play 6 holes here. And again, I'm reaching over these. I can feel these corks on my knuckles, but it's not super uncomfortable or anything. I just kind of ignore it. You know, this one's touching underneath of my finger, but it's not a big deal at all. And then I just go ahead and put my thumb on that. And then again, I'll just be playing exactly how I was playing that I just demonstrated, but now I can lift that thumb hole and then it'll drone at the 5th of the scale as well. So I'll play it that way. There's your alternating drone style. Pretty sweet that you can do all those things. And so, again, I guess I'll keep this cork out and I will slide this down now. So doing the same thing as I would with the cork, I slide this down. And now we're getting to my favorite. Like, I would have been completely happy making this flute just the harmony drone style. And so now we take these 3 corks out here. Just a few minutes earlier, I said you can play this flute without any corks in. So we got all these. These will go inside the medicine bag, safe and sound. And then we have the leather covering the thumb hole here. And so there will be no point, it won't be tuned properly, if you try to play these 3 notes simultaneously while playing this thumb hole. It's not made to do that. It's one or the other. If you want to use the thumb hole, these ones would have to be corked. If you don't want to use the thumb hole and that's covered, that's the way that I said that you don't even have to have any corks. Or you can remove this leather altogether, put the cork here into the thumb hole and just play it as a split drone or a harmony drone. And so basically, if you've seen my harmony drones or my split drones, oftentimes there's a long side and then it's cut short like this. And so basically this one, the high side of the harmony drone starts a 5th above your longer barrel and they harmonize together. having these 3 holes here is the same as cutting that to be a shorter barrel. You know what I'm saying? So when you're playing at harmony drone style, you just ignore these. You just pretend they're not there, and that gives you the 5th of the scale, see? And then that's the same as... Okay, so now I'm going to set these up and show you my favorite way. So Mayan harmony drone, you've seen those. If you look on my website, there was a pretty popular Limba harmony drone that we sold a good handful of. We've had actually some E flat and some other, I think low C sharp maybe even. Same here, curly walnut split drone or harmony drone that we've sold quite a few of off of our website. This is essentially that. The one difference is the way that the scale is. I put this half step most of the time when I do a harmony drone. I basically do these notes, and then on this side I do the same notes, and then a higher note, do 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 do. But instead I add the half step in there. So which gives it a super, super sweet, flavorful sound. And I do this on my triple drone flutes now. And so the way that this side is tuned is the same way that I now tune the triple drones. And the reason why this half step, I made it so you don't have to cross finger it, because now my hand's over here and I can still play that half step note, which is kind of like a minor chord. It gives it a really, really sweet flavor. And so this is kind of other, like I said, than the triple drones that I make. This is kind of the first time that I've made a double drone, only 2 barrels, with this half step in this way. And so I really like the flavor of what it creates. And again, it's just simple. Split drones or harmony drones are not complex flutes, but super beautiful sounding. I've been talking a lot about my new album coming out. There's a song, I think we call it Om Shanti, and that has a D minor actually, a D minor harmony drone, split drone, same thing, on there. So this flute would be able to play along with that album. And I don't know, I haven't even started advertising this yet, but I'll say it. We're creating the album, but we're also making the album 2 versions, 3 versions. I'll get to that later. But the 2 versions I'll speak of now, one of them's a backing track. Because I'm a flute maker, and most of you all know me from playing my flutes, well, the album that I made, one of them has me, of course, playing the flute, or the lead flute, let's say, because some of them have more than one flute in it. And we're removing my flute part from the album on all the songs so that my customers can play to the album. And so this is actually one flute that would play to that song Om Shanti on my new album, which we'll be talking about that within the next 2 weeks for sure. All right, I'll play it for you as a harmony drone. That's all that this flute can do. So I hope you like it. DM me if you're interested. Just best way, because as you've probably seen before, because it's like the first one that gets to purchase the flute. Again, it's high end. Maybe that's not for everybody. That's okay too. But I think I'll try to put the price in the description. It seems like most of you guys appreciate that rather than having to double inquire and ask, and still kind of thinking about that. But when I post this, the price will be in the description. Contact me if you're interested. Otherwise, just enjoy the video that we have. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we got lots of good plans for lots of cool flutes coming up. We have a new tuning in store, a Middle Eastern tuning that I have yet to do, which hopefully this week or next I'll get done. But again, this one is just one of those beautiful, beautiful showpieces. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece. And so I hope you like it, and we'll talk soon. Take care.